All right, so when you see this happening, actually, this is no longer a concern, right? They've already like we talked about using Tracer to like defend the flanks, right? So when this is happening, right, your team is already fighting. Like you're trying to come back here, like it's not really the best. What you can do is just go here and kill this guy because he's not paying attention. So like you got to make a decision whether or not you're too far behind the play. If you start off on an extreme flank, like if you think about this, this isn't really defending any part of the map. This is an extreme flank, right? So if you're gonna play the flank initially, right, you need to play the flank. So if they go past you, right, go kill the backline that they leave behind, right? So this guy's already leaving, right? Look at this. This guy's totally alone. Just go kill him, right? But you're focusing on this monkey, who you can't kill. Will probably get healed, right? Again, this Ana is healing right next to you. So, you know, just pressure the Ana instead. Right? Now you realize it, right? And look how free this is. She's so sad. And now suddenly, everyone's back here, and your team won the fight. But imagine if you just did this earlier, before the team could come back because they were still fighting, right? You would just get a free kill immediately, right? Not immediately, but like you would start off with a clip that she's not ready for. All these bullets are like interesting. Anyways, so wait, what is this? Okay. Anyways, so you would start off with a free clip, right? And yeah, the help wouldn't be there because they'd be busy doing something else, right? So if you see that happening, where everybody on the enemy team is making a play already, right? Just go kill the backline. All right. So this is I'm not a huge fan of. So you're setting up on a really aggressive flank, and you're letting them know that you're doing that. So in if this enemy team is competent, they would just take their Diva and their Lucio, and they would and maybe their Tracer, and they just like run them over to this side of the map, clear you and the ball, right, and then take map control, right, and push in, knowing that you're not behind them anymore, and that you don't have cooldowns because you probably have to use cooldowns to get away, right? So be really careful about this. Right here it is, right? Diva's competent. She sees you, she clears you, right? And you have to back, right? And now your ball's getting cleared as well, right? Your ball is no HP, right? Your echo is getting cleared inside the map as well. Like you sort of drawn all the fight over to this part of the map, right? I mean, not just you. Like your team's also doing this, but you know. Hey, free Ana. Hey, look. If you go on the Ana early, when everyone else is doing things, nobody comes back to help the Ana. It's funny how that works out. Careful, you don't want to take too much damage here. Wow, that D.Va just like straight up left you. Free pulse bomb? Nice. Hey, when the enemy team goes in and they leave their honor behind, easy kills. Is this for a video? No, I'm just kind of recording it for them. Yeah, I don't really put that much prep time into these. Oh. All right. So the problem here is you're really Oh, am I talking a bit fast? Oh, sorry. Um. Yeah. So the problem here is you're expecting them to push under when at most there's going to be just a tracer or maybe like a monkey pushing under, right? So if you know that they're only bringing one under, uh, or if like for example, um, what is it? Unless you expect the entire team to go under, be careful with just playing here because this is a setup for a dive that only happens if the whole enemy team walks under. So if you look at their comp, what are the odds they all go under? It's pretty low. Okay. But yeah, so the odds that they all go under pretty low. So you need to set up to hold map control in front of this part of the map, not like here, right? This is like staging for a dive, assuming that they're not going to fight you for map control. But this team is going to fight you for map control, right? So you should hold like that, right? So you should be like maybe up here, right? And that way, like, you can get an easy backstab on supports if they try to go like over, right? Um, or like, if, for example, they try to like go from this part of the map, like take their supports into server across like this, you can just come out here, get a free pulse bomb or something, get a free assassination, whatever the case may be. Or if your team tries to fight here, right? Assuming Brian was here, if Brian was here, you guys could fight here, right? Just being up here is just like way better than, you know, being here, right? And having to push like this into them.
Adjusting angle of attack.
So again, you look like you're trying to fight for this area of the map, but again, this is what we talked about in the scrim as well, right? Like, Brian's playing back in Catwalk, so now the fight is dictated around like these high grounds, right? Plus like server. And if like you're playing all the way up here, Brian can't support you, right? And neither can your Mercy. So just keep that in mind. Right, so you almost die. You burn all your cooldowns, except for your recall, and then you got cleared, right? So this is what you want to avoid, right? Same thing with this part of the map, right? Is you want to avoid getting pushed early on. So you try not to reveal that you're here early on, because this is like a hard flank. This is also a quote-unquote hard flank because you can't be supported, right? The only one who's even in range of you is your Sigma, right? So if you can't be supported, right, try not to get found early and pushed. Oh god, don't die to this. That was a near thing. Nice. Wait, you have recall. Wait, you've had recall. You have recall this whole time. Recall is a big cooldown, but the fight was like over, so you know, feel free to use it. Especially once you got the Mega on you, right? Just use recall to win the duel. Also, again, don't be afraid to don't be afraid to grab pack, like use a blink to grab the pack as well. Again, you keep setting up at this aggressive spot. Okay, so your Zen's here now. So now fighting here is okay, right? So in fact, you could even stand right here and have Harmony the whole time and harass these guys trying to rotate, right? But this is a 2.9k scrim. But again, right, like what you do is dictated by what your supports are doing, right? So if your support's here, you can fight for here. If your support's back on Catwalk, right, that means you can't fight for here, and you're probably just going to stand here behind this tarp or up here on blue, right? Or play server and just wait for someone to like just lurk here and wait for them to make their move, right? That's totally valid as well. Or in some cases, you can actually sit behind them, right, and start walking up behind because they're generally not checking that. Dude, Gabe's nuts at Tracer. I'm honestly surprised that most of this team is like high plat, low diamond, because I feel like they could be a lot better if they just worked at it a bit more and played more rank.
30 seconds.
Why is this monkey jumping at you? Hey, take us back. Easy. Alright, so the problem with playing under, obviously, is you can't influence this, which is why, like, when you were here a second ago, well, no, instead of going deeper, trying to dodge an blade, go into server, right? Because going to server gives you an easy opportunity to go flank the Ana, right? Right? We talked a lot about how, like, on offense, our goal is to rotate supports into server, right? So, if you just... Okay, hang on. How do I... Yeah, I'll mod you guys 1 sec. Yeah, you guys take care of this. Alright, thanks. Anyways. So we talked a lot about how on offense, we want to put our supports in server, right? So if you're just standing here in server as a tracer, right, it just makes our life so much harder. Right? Plus you have the Mega behind you. You can actually just wait for them to walk in sometimes and then pounce on them, right? Or Dan could like be chilling up on blue, and as they try to go in server, he just hits them from this side. You hit them from server side, they just die, right? Um, but this is why you don't want to get stuck under. You would much rather be stuck in server, right? Because server lets you make plays. And it's a really important part of the map. So whenever you have the opportunity to, like say the Nanoblade's right here and trying to dodge it, just go into server, right? But now like you're having problems like actually being able to. Okay, when the D.Va flies away, you just pulse bomb this guy. But yeah, he's primal so. Uh oh. Alright, they're on his dead. Dan got him, so you're chilling. But your overall impact in the fight wasn't the best. You didn't die though, which is really good. But be careful, right? Right. And again, like if you want to influence high ground, instead of staying here, right? There's a very easy door that just puts you right next to the Ana, right? So just keep that in mind. I mean, you don't have to do it right now. Like your team's about to win, so just killing people on point is like probably the better play. Just keep in mind that like if you're stuck on this side of the map and you can't get a server, right? This is still equally good, right? This is why the supports need to get out of here as fast as possible and go to server. It's because once you're in server, you're a lot harder to flank, and there's a mega that you can play. Whereas from here, you can be flanked from all sides. It's actually so terrible. All right, next fight or offense.
Ready for battle. Hi. Two.
All right.
One. Attackers incoming.
Let's get this moving.
Escort the payload. Minimize errors. Adapt to changing battle.
So far, so good.
And good luck. Boosting up.
Someone help me move this thing.
Generally speaking, by the way, instead of like backing up to fight this way, I know they were going really deep, but like if they are not going so deep, right, and they're just trying to contest you, you actually, especially with tanks, you actually want to go deeper and play this side of cart, right? Because first of all, you have the mega and you have the mini on this side to escape to, so you have like multiple escape routes. And on top of that, it's very, very hard for anyone to fight you supported, right? So if like there's action going on up here, right, there's no way for an Ana to easily get LOS down into there, right? And if they're dropping down, right, you've already won. So you've done your job at that point, right? So generally speaking, you want to fight on this side of cart, not on this side of cart. Something to keep in mind. Alright, we out here just walking the cart. Oh hey, free Ana. Alright, so we talked about getting your supports to server. But you don't actually need to be in server. You just need to make sure that your team gets a server, right? So our goal here is to get Brian all over here, right? And you just need to make sure he lives long enough for that, right? So at this point, you can actually go more aggressive to try and pull their attention, right? So instead of like playing server and trying to defend server, you could actually just go deeper, right? And threaten the Ana and pull people back to deal with you, right? So that way your Zen gets a free rotate across the bridge into server. Because if someone sees him crossing right now, it doesn't matter how much you're defending server. This monkey's just going to jump on him and kill him, right? So like again, it doesn't matter like that you're defending server, right? Because this is the danger spot, right? And we also don't have any pressure on blue, right? No one's on blue, but you know if the monkey was sitting on blue and he saw the Zen, and be like, oh my god, free Zen or D.Va, like either one can do it. So you want to like invite aggression in the opposite direction, either by going lower and threatening, right, or going upper, right? Where am I? Where am I? What? Where's this? How did I get here? This is spawn. Where? What? Oh, okay. uh, all right. So, yeah, or go upper, right, and threaten that way, right? But you want to bring pressure on the opposite side to pull attention away from what's going on with your Zen, right? Because this fight's already really scrappy, so trying to do a really organized play doesn't really make much sense here. Yeah, see, like you're pulling instead of pulling like aggro away from your Zen feels afraid to rotate into server because you pulled the aggro into server itself, right? Which is like good in some sense because like they're kind of extending and they're leaving their Ana behind for you, right? But you just got to remember that like you don't actually want them diving into server if you can help it, right? You'd much rather like have them like backing up and peeling and then getting your Zen a free rotate instead, right? Alright. Well, they dived into server, so, you know. At this point, just clean up, do whatever you want.
Adjusting angle.
Alright, try and take high ground. This is not the staircase you want, unless your plan is to... I guess that's not bad. I gotta break out of my own habits, because like, I'm so used to playing Ana on this map, that like my default is like, oh, go this way, because this is the only way to get high ground, but you're like, I'm Tracer, I can do whatever I want. So, that's on me, sorry. I just defaulted this way, because that's the only way like most characters can make it to high ground. Nice. Alright. Nice, you're immediately going back up to high. Oh! Wait, blink! No! Alright, well, that was okay. I think trying to force this blink when the Ana was already locked onto you was probably not the best. It probably would have been better to just like back up, get some healing, right? And then try again later. Or call for orb as you're making this play, so you get orb here before you die, and then grab the mini and have orb while you're getting pushed by the diva, and then you can fight her with like your blinks. But yeah, pretty awkward situation all around. But like the actual like your mindset going in was, I think, was fine. Like in terms of like pathing, in terms of like high ground, what you do when you get pushed and like can't stay on the high ground, right? You just try to go right back, so that was fine. Resident sleeper.
Ready to roll. Hi.
Oh, hello. Nice. Alright, get the mini, get the mini. Yep, alright. Did you think you had recall? Feels bad. That pulse bomb was kind of forced. You didn't really have to do it then, right? Especially when they're looking at you, pulse bomb is actually kind of hard. And especially at the range you're at, so it's probably better just like lean right side, get away from the baby diva, and then start figuring out whether or not you can get a pulse from the side, or just go back up to high ground, grab the mega, and then like start your play again from there, right? Probably just you didn't need to force it, I think. Again, don't forget that you want to get back to high ground, right? You're doing really well doing setup, but now that the fight's in a brawl, you've just kind of forgotten about it, right? And the thing about right now is like we're in kind of a pause where nothing's really happening, right? So use this time to get back to high ground, right? Hey, you almost killed the Tracer. Hey, you're probably gonna kill Diana. It's funny how that works. Okay, you blink. Okay, so this is something I haven't really addressed before, but you really do blink melee too much. So blink melee is specifically for reliable damage and Tracer duels, and also to finish kills, right? Because otherwise, if all you do is cancel your reload into with melees, melee just doesn't do that much damage, right? So it's only going to be used for like maybe like extra damage after like a recall or something, or again for reliable damage and Tracer duels, or to finish people, right? If you can't finish them with the melee, right, then you're just losing damage, right, a lot of the time by not reloading. So yeah, right here in this case, right, in this case you know how much health he has, right? So that was okay because you weren't it looked like he was pretty low, right? And but again, you would have to melee him twice anyway, so maybe not. And then here, right, you know how much health he has, right? Blink meleeing here is just not the play. Just reload here, right? Do you see how like long that was, right? That melee is fine, right? Because you're going for extra damage for your recall, right? And then you get the kill, right? But like that first melee was kind of questionable, and the second melee is definitely not needed. All right, when you have time, try and work your way back to high ground. Most likely. or work yourself deep into like an off angle like over here or something where you can like play like on your own with like a mini behind you, but have like an actual like separate angle with which to like thread, right? You don't want to get stuck in cart with your team. Nice. I like this. Coming up behind them. You have pulse bomb. Don't look this way. Look this way. Almost no one ever looks down like this, right? But you need to look this way in case someone's coming from your left up the stairs, because that's where the real threat is.
I'm on fire. Really? Greetings. Hi.
All right. We talked about this last time as well. You gotta stop spamming hello when you're hiding. When you're flanking or when you're hiding, you just don't want to let them know you are. This sound carries really far.
Hi.
Ah!
Adjusting angle of attack.
Ooh, that was close.
There we go.
Nice. See, going for blinks against blink maze against Tracer, really good, right? Other characters, not so much. All right, don't get stuck main. Start going this way like immediately, right? You don't have to push it necessarily, but you need to apply pressure, right? If you're just on this part of the map, it makes them respect you. So go that way. Yeah. So that's good, right? Just do it earlier and with less blinks, ideally. Because if the Zen contests you in this hallway, the long hallway, like you need to be able to like to blink to like get over here, for example, to like LOS him and maybe start going high ground. But if you only have one blink, this going from here to here becomes really hard all of a sudden, right? Oh, found the Zen. Nice. There's a mini on your right. There's a mini on your right. Just take the mini. Okay, I mean, I guess you win the duel, but instead of asking for orb here, you just go take the mini. I don't even know if you know about this mini, by the way. Just FYI, because I remember you were asking for orb here. But like in this fight, when you get that Tracer low, she's 100% going to recall there. There's no Tracer that won't recall eventually, right? So instead of trying to kill her there, just take the mini and then set yourself up for next fight. And by blinking over here during her recall, she probably loses you anyways. You get a free opening clip on her. Yeah, it looks like you just don't know about the mini. That's fine.
Adaptive circuits engaged.
Let's focus on the supports. Nice. Okay. Overall, pretty good. Just a lot of minor things involved with like map control, and like what parts of the map to emphasize, how to take certain fights, and the biggest thing, or not the biggest thing, but like the most immediate thing that you should probably fix, is probably like how you use blink melee, because like you just use it way too much. Not that bad, not that badly rather, but you use it when you really don't have to a lot of the time. Um, yeah, just remember like if it's going to kill someone, right? Um, it's good. If it's for reliable damage against like tracers, because tracers like when you're doing tracers, like it's kind of hard to convert blinks into damage without melee sometimes. So that's fine. And plus 30 damage against a tracer is a lot. Um, so we'll take that. But against a lot of other characters, unless it's going to finish them, it's a big DPS drop off. Because most characters don't have the mobility that Tracer has, right? And in certain characters, like you just don't want to get close to them at all, right? Like Genji or something. So there's no point even in going for Blink Melee unless you're going to finish them. Um, but yeah, overall not too bad. Yeah, and if you have questions, comments, concerns, let me know. And if you get to this part of the video, or if you're watching in chat, DM me what like let's see, 15 divided by 2 equals.